Hello everyone and welcome to my first official YouTube video. I've had so many requests to do it and I've finally got it going. So what it's going to be all about is all the bikes that I test both locally and internationally, do little preview snippets on them, show you the bikes up close, talk about them a little bit with some special guests that I'll have on the test as well, and then just preview them to you before you can read the full stories in Ride Fast magazine obviously. But the main focus of this YouTube channel is pretty much to talk about the greatest sport in the world. Of course, that's MotoGP. So I'm going to be getting in a couple of guests to talk about the testing and the races before and after every race as well, just to bring you all up to date with everything that's happening in the world of MotoGP. And my first guest, top SA journalist, not saying much for SA journalism, philanthropist, supermodel, very fast bike rider, Mr. Donovan Fourie. Can I call you a MotoGP expert?
I'm overwhelmed with joy. This flattery is just beyond me. It's all absolute rubbish, of course, but you know, hey, why not? You know what? You know the trick is, okay, people don't understand this. They say you're an expert at something. No, the thing is you sound confident, and when you sound confident, people believe you.
You're an expert.
So we have no idea what we're talking about. You're about to listen to 20 minutes of absolute rubbish,
Junk.
but we're confident, so
but we have nice fancy pictures to show you.
But no Rossi.
No Rossi.
Look at this, he put a front cover up, and he didn't put Rossi. There's a whole story about Rossi over there, but there's no photo of Rossi. What is he thinking? Tell him,
yes,
go onto social media and call him rude words.
I've already had it, don't worry. So yeah, we're going to be talking everything MotoGP. Couple of days now before the season opener. Finally, MotoGP is back for 2019. Just finished the Qatar test, the MotoGP boys, Moto2 and Moto3 boys. So we're going to quickly start with the MotoGP guys and we'll touch on the Moto2 and Moto3 boys. Don, the big question, there's so many question marks heading into 2019. This is probably the biggest question mark season we've ever had. But one of the biggest ones has to be Yamaha.
Yes.
Have Yamaha now, are they first of all on the right track, and have they sorted out the problems over the last couple of seasons?
You know what, for the last sort of 3 years, since 2015, Yamaha, and particularly Rossi, has been terrible in testing. And you look at this year. Okay, Rossi was still terrible in testing. I think we're getting a bit of a pattern here.
Yeah.
He was still terrible in testing, but not as terrible. And Vinales is always quick in testing, and is even quicker this time. But the problem is we've seen the Yamahas be quick in testing, quick over one lap. They get to the race and it all just falls apart.
It's exactly what happens. But
yeah.
I mean, the guys complaining big time about engine, the way it delivered power, no grip at the rear. Rossi was saying one thing, Vinales was saying one thing. Both riders seem to be on the same page at right. The team atmosphere now is better. Everyone's listening. The Yamaha techs are all busy. But there still seems to be that Vinales saying, well, I like this and this is working. And Rossi kind of still saying, well, not really. Good luck to Vinales, but no.
I think where Yamaha, the more significant than that is what Yamaha is actually doing with their MotoGP team, which they've kind of adapted to what Honda and Ducati have done that makes them so successful. First of all, they've changed all the sort of management of the team. Not sort of the guys sitting there, the sort of proper Japanese guys back at the factory. They've changed all that around because Yamaha have never been able to adapt.
No.
They come out with a bike at the beginning of the season, the riders say, we don't like this thing. The Yamaha goes, oh.
What now?
They've changed all that. The other thing they've done is they've got a testing team in Europe. So previously they used to send data down to Japan. Japan puts it all in a machine and out comes a motorbike. A Japanese guy gets on it. He goes to a Japanese racetrack. He rides it. He
not
says,
a very fast rider.
Yeah, not a very fast rider. He says yes, or whatever the Japanese for yes is. And they send it back to the Europe, and Europe goes, hang on.
Doesn't work in European conditions. Our riders are too fast.
So now they've got Jonas Folger. Remember him, the sick guy. He's back again. He's back on a MotoGP bike. He's running a whole test team in Europe. And the other thing they've done is they've taken their satellite teams. Now, previously the Tech 3 teams used to run old bikes. They used to run second-hand bikes that Rossi was sick of. So have that now.
Good luck.
Yeah. Now they've got Morbidelli and Quartararo. They're both on current factory machines, and that's going to make a difference because now you've got 4 riders giving input instead of just 2. You look at Honda and Ducati. Honda have Cal Crutchlow, Ducati have, it was Petrucci last year, this year Jack Miller, all on current bikes. So when they've got something they want to test, but the top riders are going for the championship, hey we don't care about your championship, try this, tell us if it works. And I think that makes a big difference.
Definitely going to, well it already has, because both Quartararo, I mean, it's an impressive ride from the rookie. He was up in 3rd fastest overall in the Sepang test, in the Qatar test. He was rubbish at Sepang, but Morbidelli seems to have been quite consistent in both. It is a new team as well, the Petronas team.
It is new, but I mean they've taken a whole lot of people, the staff from the previous teams, and put them in. So I mean, that is really what counts.
Yeah.
I mean the colors are all new.
Yeah.
The people paying the bills are new, but the people working are still.
And they got two decent riders. I mean, Morbidelli, obviously, Qatar is a rookie. He seems to be doing quite well. But again, it's let's try and make him work for this year to progress into something good. But like you said, they've got a good support system now. Vinales was very impressive at the test. Said he had good race pace and he topped the timesheets. We saw that. Rossi, towards the end, like you said, never been renowned for testing, and he finished fifth.
Yes. Do you know something I do find funny is a bit of a kind of, you were talking about the rift between Vinales and Rossi. I'm going to propose more of a rift. You look at Vinales and Quartararo, Morbidelli and Rossi. When Vinales likes it, Quartararo likes it. When Rossi doesn't like it, Morbidelli doesn't like it. And it's not just, academy orders, but they're sort of similar riders. They grew up similar kind of way.
The way they ride,
I mean, they all train
styles.
together, all of that. But yet you find they have similar problems, which says to me that it's just the way they ride.
Yeah, it's just riding.
Which is interesting, actually.
So that's like you said, ultimately Yamaha are on the right path. Speaking of Rossi, 40 years old now.
Yes.
Title number 10.
How old are you now?
I'm 37.
I'm 37 too. Can you imagine riding not just a MotoGP bike, let's just say a 600 now, like a flat out race? No.
I ride my Husqvarna 701 with feeling, and I scare myself.
Hang on, I've got an SV650.
Petrified.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. 40 years old.
I don't know, but my
seriously.
question mark with Rossi now is, and it kind of posed itself last year at Sepang where he was leading, but Marquez hunted him down. Does Rossi just have that barrier now that says you cannot mentally, not physically, we know fit, but mentally, at 40 years old, that is your barrier, and Marquez and the slightly younger riders' barrier is here?
Well, okay, the fact that Rossi pushed so hard in that Sepang race that actually ended up falling says no. It says he was not sitting there going, okay, hang on, Marquez is catching me, just stick to my pace, and if he overtakes me, I'll settle for second. No, he rode the living daylights out of that thing. And you notice in that race, that crash, he went into the corner, opened the throttle, lost the rear, typical Yamaha problem. Same thing happened, although in the rain at Valencia. I mean, everyone was losing the front and whatever. Rossi, middle of the corner, opens the throttle, the rear comes around. Partially Rossi, but I'm going to say that's also kind of embedded in the Yamaha problem.
So, Rossi, title number 10, quickly. Going to happen, not going to happen?
I wouldn't rule it out. You know what? The world will rejoice. There will be peace on earth. Israel and the Middle East will get together and say, you know what? This is not so bad. Let's just settle this out. You know what I mean? That's what will happen if Rossi wins title number 10.
Okay, well, let's hope. We're all Rossi fans, and I really hope he can do it. I just want to see him challenging ultimately, which I think he is going to do. So we look forward to that. Let's move across now to the Honda side of the garage with Marquez and his new teammate for the year, Lorenzo. Let's talk about that little partnership first. Now, I've always said there can only be one number one rider in a team. If you look at Ray when he came into Kawasaki, ended Sata's career. Marquez when he came into Repsol Honda, ended Pedrosa's career.
Bautista when he came into Ducati.
And Davies already seems to be over. Are we going to have this? It's all calm and nice and friendly now, but surely it's got to get to a point where it's bashing heads.
Do you know what? What's the other one called? Honda. Yeah, that one. Honda have enough money, enough resources to look after both. And you know what I want to see, what I think Honda wants from this? They want to see two Hondas out front, way out front. They want to just say, Honda, we're the best. We are better than everyone else. Look, we've got two riders disappearing. That's what they want. And I think if that means kind of adapting two motorcycles, that's what they do.
Which is what they're doing,
It's even what they said they'd do. They said they'd pretty much build a motorcycle for Lorenzo. What worries me more about the Honda situation is that all their riders have been injured. Lorenzo, Marquez, Crutchlow have all been injured. So the whole way through testing, they've either missed tests or they've just gone out and done a few laps at a time. They've had Bradl has been out there doing the long runs, but none of the other guys. So there's this sort of little question mark. The last 5 laps when the tires on the very what do you call it?
Worn out.
Pretty much going through the cockpits. You know what I mean? Are those Hondas still going to manage?
And the riders themselves. With the fitness.
Obviously.
So if I look at it now, at the Qatar test, Honda have found more speed out of their bike, which they kind of were lacking. But now, obviously that causes some other issues. All the riders just complaining of this little bit of lack of front end grip now.
Well, they changed the front end because previously the Honda needed a hard front because you had to...
Especially with Marquez.
The Hondas were short and high.
Yes.
That's kind of how they worked. And you needed to load the tires a lot. So you needed a or to get the thing to turn. So you need a very hard front tire that you have to load into the corner to get it to turn. That's why Crutchlow Marquez did very well on it, because that's how they ride anyway. Pedrosa, not so much. Now they're kind of adjusting it to make it more kind of user-friendly overall, so that they can run medium front tires. It doesn't put that much pressure on it. And I think it's just an adapt phase. I mean, previously, remember when Honda changed to the cross-plane firing order, the big bang firing order? It took them nearly half a year. So, yeah, little adaptations, but Honda's good at that. Through the year, you'll see that bike adapting.
And they're going to run at the front. I mean, Lorenzo and Marquez, it's a combined 12 world titles in that team, so it's got to be one of the favorite teams for sure. Lorenzo finished the test 7th overall, posted a decent time. Again, just saying he's not quite 100% fit, not quite happy with the bike. The other big question mark now this season is Marquez. For the first time, he's really coming into a season with a slight injury concern with that shoulder.
No, hang on, not the first time. You remember 2014? He broke his leg.
Yes,
he missed a lot of testing, and he actually won the first race at Qatar.
Yeah, but he was younger, dumber, stupid.
True, he's not 40 though.
You know, he's not 40, he's 26 or something, but I just think, especially with the shoulder though, you know, it seems to be the first thing when a MotoGP rider crashes, he lands on his shoulder. And we saw at the end of last year, the last 2 crashes that Marquez had, he landed on the shoulder, popped it out. So now...
It got so bad, his shoulder was so bad, that when they put him on the table to operate on him, they gave him the anesthetic. And as soon as he went under, his shoulder popped out on its own. So it was literally Marquez walking around like tensing his arm,
shoulder, and Scott Redding gave him a pat on the back and it popped out.
His shoulder.
But look, he showed good pace at the Qatar test, so I don't think there's too much to worry about just yet.
Hang on, more so, he crashed twice
at the
Qatar test.
He did.
So I mean, this is Marquez. He tests stuff properly. He says, right, they said the shoulder's fine. Let's have a crash
and see if it is fine.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think Honda looking pretty good. I think they're going to have a good season. They're going to have a really good season with those guys. Ducati, there's nothing really much to say about it. It's just Ducati.
No, you know what I love? Okay, again, Ducati, Gigi Dall'Igna, that man, he's just a mad scientist.
Yeah.
While everyone was at Christmas with their families, he was sitting in a laboratory wearing a lab coat, instead of weird glasses.
Taking something blue and red.
Combing his monobrow.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there looking at what happens if we put plutonium inside the tires. What'll that do? That's what he was thinking. I mean, one of the things they had was a whole shot device.
Yes, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And okay, they think it's a whole shot device. Ducati, they had a little wing nut thing on the top yoke.
Yeah.
And of course, they went to all the journalists went to Ducati and said, "What is that?" And they said, "What wing nut?"
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know what it is. It looks like a wing nut device. It looks like a whole shot.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know in motocross and motor, how that works is when they get to the start line, you push the front forks down.
And it loads it.
Push a little button and it clips the suspension down.
Yes.
We're not quite sure how that works. So I don't think Öhlins will drill a hole in the side of their front
Not just yet, no.
Not just yet. But it's what it kind of looks like. It looks like it's something like that. And let's see if it works. And that's what I love about it. Again, Ducati have kind of sat back through this test and sort of said, well, we're not that bothered about times. We're just doing our work. And you know what's going to happen. The race is going to start. They're going to be there.
Petrucci's now in the factory team, and he's looked good. And I love Petrucci, I really do. But I just don't think he's that elitist.
He looks like a furry woodland creature, especially when he doesn't shave. When he gets one of those going, he looks like this little creature you'd find in the woods in like a Robin Hood outfit.
But my question mark with it, I think he's going to have a good season. I think he's going to challenge top 3 more often than not. But I don't think he's going to be a title contender. Dovi, does he have the mental strength to go at it for another year? Ducati has had the best package in the last 3 years, and they haven't won a title. Yeah. Dovi's been their main man. Can they still carry on relying on Dovi?
Dovi has this almost stoner-like sort of quality. You know Stoner when Rossi was right on his tail, and where people like Gibernau and Biaggi cracked.
Would falter, yeah.
Stoner was there.
Yeah.
He did eventually falter when he started drinking milk, but
lactose intolerance.
Rossi couldn't break him, but a cow could. But he kind of has that, where it's just this sort of real mental fortitude, where he's sitting there in his own little place. He doesn't give a stuff about what's going on around him.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a stuff about anything. He sits in his own little kind of box.
Gets the job done.
And he's got this. You know what I mean?
I hope, I know he's going to be a title contender. He's going to be up there. I know he's going to be a title contender. He's going to be up there. I just don't know if he's got that final little bit of edge to get ahead of Marquez. But time will tell. They were good in testing again. Didn't post the fast lap times, but again, worked on the overall race pace.
They sort of said to him, what do you think of your pace? And he kind of went, he's Italian. So he went, me.
Yeah. Petrucci said, well, let's go racing tomorrow. That's how confident he was. Miller and Bagnaia, I think they've got a really good setup once again, Ducati. Suzuki,
Rins has been quick.
Rins has been.
Yeah, but okay. this is what we're talking about this during testing, but we've seen this a few times with the likes of Espargaro when he was on on Suzuki, Iannone, where they're up there and everyone's going, right, Suzuki, and then the race happens and you know what, I think they're in a better position now, but I know what's going to happen, right? They're going to start off, the race is going to carry on until about half pace, there's going to be a group of riders in there. When it gets to about half race distance, the riders start saying, okay, our tyres have lasted okay, everything feels okay, let's up the pace. And that's where you see the Marquez's, Dovizioso's, Rossi's, maybe Vignales, they start gapping away. And then you see the Petrucci's, Rinz's, Miller's, Crutchlows start kind of...
Yeah, they're on their limit. But look, it's been impressive from Suzuki, and it seems to be the bike, any rookie coming from Moto2, if you could choose a MotoGP bike, you would want to go straight onto the Suzuki.
Yeah, we got Joan Mir on it.
Impressive. This season he's going to have a couple of good rides, but ultimately he is, let's say, the bigger picture challenger to a Marquez.
I'm looking more towards Bagnaia. I think Bagnaia's got this sort of genius about him.
He's got a bit of everything.
Although he is on a second-hand Ducati.
Very second-hand.
Dovizioso's so sick of it now. Yeah, give it to the Yankee.
But he's done very well on it. Sepang, he was really impressive. Qatar, not so much. But he's showed pace since he climbed on it at Valencia. I mean, he was really impressive about that. So some rookies to also watch out for is Joan Mir, Bagnaia, Quartararo. This is going to be the best rookies that we've had come up for a very long time.
I hope they're up there.
I think they will be for the odd one.
Yeah, you've got. We all like the kind of Marquez Rossi show, Dovizioso show,
but we kind of, especially at Bagnaia. I think he doesn't hold back. He's just gonna. We saw him in Moto2. He's not afraid to just shove it on the inside and just expose himself and just bully everyone out of the way. Let's move to the orange side now. The KTM side. Not looking. I think we all kind of thought Zarco was going to climb on it and not run top 5 straight away, but certainly not be where they are at the moment.
It's a tough one, and I kind of wonder about this. And I'm looking now to Moto2 also, and Moto3 actually. The only thing that the KTM's had that no one else has, they've got steel trellis frames, WP suspension, and it's worked well for them in the lower classes. But I'm kind of looking now. Okay, Binder was fast through most of the testing.
Yes.
Towards the end, he started struggling a bit when the pace really got up.
Yeah, when everyone stepped it up.
And in Moto3, there just seems to be a bit of a Honda fest.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering if maybe KTM's going to kind of look at this and go, maybe this is not working. Maybe they just need to perfect it. But Ducati, if you remember, when they first came to MotoGP, they were steel trellis.
And eventually the carbon fiber frame.
And remember, they were everything they did was steel trellis. They had the 916s, 999s.
And they won championships with it. So
yes, I know. But they got to MotoGP and kind of said, okay, this is not working. So, and I hope I'm wrong, because I'd love to see KTM up there with WP, with the steel trellis frame, but let's see, Well,
the riders haven't gone too bad. Zarco's still adapting, not up there. Miguel Oliveira, one of the other rookies.
Miguel Oliveira is as fast as Zarco. And he's a rookie. So
Paul Espargaro is still the man holding the flag for them at the moment. But like you said, I think they're just going to be that team where, a 5th and a 6th place is, public holiday.
Zarco got off the Yamaha, which is a very sort of fluid motorcycle, onto a KTM. And I mean, you speak to the likes of Binder, they tell you that it's a very stiff motorcycle. Very stiff. You've got to kind of ride it hard. You've got to kind of throw it in hard. So it's maybe the opposite of the Yamaha.
So he's going to really have to adapt himself to that. Aprilia, Andrea and Iannone, new jawline and all, missed the Sepang test because...
now hang on. The official press release said a tooth problem.
Yeah, toothache.
The rumor mill says he had surgery on his jaw.
Trying to get them like ours.
He had surgery on his jaw because he wants to, when he's done with racing, he wants to lead a life in porn.
And sell, and do adverts for XXL condoms.
That's it. I don't know.
It's going to be Aprilia again.
My favourite is that, so Redding got chucked out of Aprilia for Iannone. Iannone couldn't even do the tests. So Redding, of course, put a thing up because, Redding, he's very laid back, he's very docile, he doesn't put anything weird on social media. He puts there, so I get fired for this guy who can't even do the testing because his jaw's a bit sore.
It's true, and many people see this as like kind of the end of the career for Iannone. He's just gone backwards throughout his career, and it's not Iannone's pace. He apparently is a very difficult guy to deal with in the pits, and been to the MotoGP races that I have, not one of the nicest guys. You know,
Yeah,
you see
it
a
does
Marquez
kind
and
of,
it's
it is sort of a problem.
but you could see him being a handful. So with Aprilia, you just got to hope for the best. Aleix Espargaro again did well, but like you said, it one good lap, but overall race pace is just not going to be there.
And I hope I'm wrong again, I don't think Aprilia has the resources to kind of run with those big boys. They are a little factory, not even like Ducati little, like properly little factory.
No, they're tiny, that big.
That big.
Right, so now I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh dear.
Couple of days out. Okay. Couple of days out, MotoGP. You have a sip. Have a nice sip there.
Yeah.
Diet Coke, eh? Diet Coke. As you
I
can
don't
see.
drink that unleaded rubbish. Gotta help.
So, I want pole position prediction and top 5 prediction.
Vignali's on pole.
Okay.
Because, yeah, he's just kind of shown it. He can set a fast lap, especially at Qatar.
Okay, I say Dobby. Okay, next.
Good.
Yep.
What was the next question again?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Starting from 5th.
Do you know what I love? What makes the season so exciting is I'm sitting here and I'm going,
You
I
have
have
to
no
think
idea.
about it, yeah?
I have no idea.
Before it
And
was
that
like
is
you
brilliant.
could just round them
I
off
could say,
easily.
Yeah. I'm going to say my podium, and I don't quite know in which order yet.
Okay.
Dovizioso, Marquez,
Rossi.
No, yeah. The reason, simply put, is because they were on the podium the last 3 times, and it doesn't look all that different now.
Yes,
and again, when it gets to those last 5 laps and the tires are finished and there's canvas coming through, it's really that sort of cream of the crop comes up, and I still think they've got that. It might change throughout the season. I think Vignales will be top 5, and I think.
So one more. Petrucci.
No, you know what? I'm going to throw in something weird. I'm going to throw in an outlier. Morbidelli.
Sure, that'll be a turn up for the book. So I wouldn't stray too far away from your top 5 prediction, but I would go with Vignales on the podium instead of Rossi. I've got Rossi in about 5th, maybe even 6th. I've got Petrucci up there in 4th. Marquez, I think Dobby will win it. I think Marquez will be 2nd, Vignales 3rd, Petrucci 4th, Rossi 5th, Morbidelli 6th.
And of course, it's going to be nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be completely different.
Are you confident in your prediction?
No, I'm not at all. I wouldn't put 5 rand on that. That's how I'm confident about it. So let's touch on Moto2 quickly. They've also just finished their testing at Qatar. Brad Binder top day 1 by like 0.6 of a second. So straight out of the blocks, he was fast. And this is what you've touched on. That's not the problem of the KTM. And Brad said it the last couple of seasons in Moto2, and he's confessed it to me so many times. He can get to a lap time and a pace very quickly and easily, and he can run that all day long. But to get to the next step of the Calyx bikes just seems to be the problem. Dropped down to 10th overall in the test, only half a second off the pace. Says he's happy with a good overall pace. Still need to find a couple of little tweaks on the bike, but
it's sort of a finicky bike, the KTM.
Yeah, definitely.
And we saw it in the test. It was a 3-day test at Qatar. Binder was fastest on the first day by miles. And it wasn't so much that Binder went backwards, just everybody improved a lot. Everybody just went faster. Every single day, the lap times dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
And you just saw Binder not drop as quickly.
And that's what happens in qualifying. Brad's able to set a really good time.
Yeah.
It's not that he's terrible at qualifying, it's just that everyone else is able to go faster, and he just does that.
I do think when the race starts, I mean, you look at Perez also, he was faster. He was on the sharp end throughout. I just think that when the race starts, Binder is going to be up there. But I don't. I think KTM is the biggest manufacturer in Moto2 easily. I just wonder if the steel trellis WP whole thing is working, and I hope I'm wrong.
But top 3.
Top 3, yeah, definitely.
Easily top 3, nice. I also think definitely top 3, but it is going to be hard this season. I mean, you've got Marini, who's really come of age on the last year or so. You've got Marquez, who will just crash out and win the odd couple of races.
No. Fastest at Qatar was Sam Lowe. And nobody is putting him down for the win. No one.
Would you?
No. He's going to 2 things going to happen. He's either going to go backwards or he's going to fall.
Look, you can't get a better endorser for helmets and safety gear than Sam Lowe. So whatever gear he wears, make sure you buy it because it works.
Yes.
Moto3, Darren Binder in his new team, 16th overall. He was 4th at one stage. Says he's really comfortable with the team, loving life, worked hard on overall race pace, and that's what he did. So he didn't really have that fast lap time, but 16th overall. Is he just too big? And I think he's just too much on the tires on the bike.
But he also needs to keep his head.
Yeah.
It's something, okay, and this is a lot. You're coming in after Brad, who's so dominant, so everything, and you've got to try and kind of maintain that.
There's
a
big
lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I think Darren just needs to take a deep breath, keep his head, just ride. Just keep riding the way you know how. If you don't win, that's fine. You can run up front, that's fine. Don't be stupid. Just ride. I mean, if you keep consistent, you will be up front. If you're going to crash every race, not so much.
So there you have it then, our first official episode of our MotoGP Talk. We're still waiting to find a title for it. I was going to call it MotoGP 10 and it's MotoGP Talk in 10 minutes, but as you can see, it's like 25 minutes long because we love to rant on about the greatest sport in the world. So we'll find a title for it, but join us before every race, after every race. Probably going to be myself and Donovan more likely or more often than not. We'll throw in one or two other guests that know a little thing about MotoGP and that. But we hope you've enjoyed it and join us. Next time we'll bring a broadcast, not next week because you're in Morocco, I'm in Portugal. So maybe the following week we'll catch up after the MotoGP Qatar race. Cheers.